Hi, so a lot of you are probably putting unnecessary information on your CVs and your resumes, and I mean, I understand. I have been there as well. I was corrected, and I'm taking that energy, to this video, and that's what this video is going to be about. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you about the things that you are putting in your resume that you shouldn't be putting for multiple reasons. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to AdoraHack. My name is Adora, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about important things that should be in a resume and things that shouldn't even be. So there's a case of, oh, these are nice to have, and there's a case of do not put for whatever reason, and that's what this video is going to be. So this video is going to be divided into two parts. The first part is going to be me talking about the things that should actually be in your resume, and the second part of this video is going to be highlighting the things that should not, for whatever reason, be in your resume at all. So when you're thinking about, a job application, you're trying to draft a resume, there are, important things that you should think that, oh, okay, I need to put these things in my application. Because to be honest, think about it like this. In life in general, only say things that are needed, only put things that are needed, and then if you realize that these things are not enough, then you go back and add more things that are needed, not adding a lot of irrelevant things. Because me, if I was someone that was looking through a book, I'm not even talking about resume now, looking through a book, looking through text, looking through things, and I'm seeing more irrelevant than relevant stuff, I'm going to drop it. At some point, I might not even have gotten to the relevant thing that will make me say, wow, this person is amazing, because it was filled with a lot of irrelevant and unnecessary things. Treat your resume the same way. Nobody needs your 10-page resume. Nobody needs your 16-page. 1 page is enough. If you can highlight your professional experience, your professional history in 1 page, that's good. Pata 2 pages, keep it pushing. You should try and keep it short and simple. And on that note, I'm going to be sharing you a bunch of things that are important in your resume. So when thinking about your resume, one thing that's important is your career summary, like, oh, my name is Nene Adora. I'm a software engineer that has over 10 years experience in building cloud services related to artificial intelligence and mixed reality. In this time, I have been able to create solutions that do A, B, C, D while scaling the business to X, Y, Z and doing this and doing that. That's your career summary. Drop it there and move on. Simple stuff only. That sort of gives the, person looking at that sort of insights into your past work experience, where your expertise lie and what your professional interests are, essentially. The next thing that you can talk about are like your skills and certifications. So it could be that, oh, your certifications are, you are a Microsoft certified cloud engineer, so you have certification with Azure, then you have the AWS certification, and then the skill could be that you are a cloud engineer. Those sort of things. So you can put that in your resume. You can put that in your resume, and that kind of shows who you are and the kind of value that you can be bringing. Next thing is your experience. You want to put your experience, you want to put relevant experience, you want to highlight the work experience that you have, the things that you've done in the former places that you've worked in, and all of that. This would let where you're applying to know, okay, this is the kind of work that you've been doing in the past, and now you either want to transition into doing this kind of new work in the future, or you want to continue doing that same thing but in a different light, or you want to continue doing that same thing but at a larger capacity. But just to let people have context on where you are coming from. So this is me just speaking from data that I would gather generally from multiple people and from my own personal experience as well. But I'm not HR, I'm not a hiring manager, so I can't really tell you direct things, but I can only tell you the few things that I've heard and the little that I know to actually help you. You can put your freelance or your work project. So if you're a software engineer, there's a chance that you have maybe done some kind of personal projects with a few friends, you've worked on something freelance, or you've done some kind of open source contribution. So you can highlight these things there, put in all the relevant links, all the side projects, all the things that you've done that you feel would give you an edge in your application. These are things that are important that you should put only things that are relevant. So if you're trying to get some kind of job with maybe something DevOps related, for example, there's no reason if you've built some kind of Android related thing 7 years before this application, so you're trying to apply for DevOps related stuff in 2021, and in 2014 you did something Android related, even if it is a project, it is not a relevant project, so there's no reason for that to be in your resume, if that makes sense. Also, your education, right? Do you have a bachelor's degree? Do you have a master's degree? Are you currently doing your PhD, or are you done with your PhD? Do you have a PhD? Are you a doctor? Putting relevant education as well, both formal and informal, in my opinion, is really good. If you've taken multiple courses, whatever it is, put your education there as well. Also kind of shows people that you are someone that can learn, you are someone that is teachable. So at some point when they hire you and they try to train you, you're not a ghost. You are someone that can take that training and turn that training into a product that adds value, essentially. And the last thing I would want to say is, volunteering. It just shows people that you are human, you have empathy, you are a lot more than being about the money. There are things that you can possibly be passionate about. Now that I have talked about the things that should be in your resume, let's go ahead and talk about the things that for whatever reason should not be in your resume. So now let's talk about the first thing on that list that I mentioned, which is your address. I'm sorry, all of you, for whatever reason, I do not think. Now I'm going to say I do not think because it is at the end of the day my own personal opinion. But in all honesty, I do not think that your address should be on your resume, and I'll tell you why. A lot of things are moving to the cloud, right? A lot of people are doing more things on the internet. The internet is steady growing. If you submit your resume is now on the internet. It's now on somebody else's computer somewhere. It's no longer just on your own local computer. There's no reason why that information is valid. Only put things that are needed. Let's be honest, if they are not needed, why are they there? If it is maybe the kind of job that you're applying for is something that is like location specific for some reason, I don't really know of any case where that is important, or maybe in that region or in that country you get like it's important to add your address, then go ahead and add it. If possible, safe. If you don't have to add it, adding only your location is fine, Lagos, Nigeria. But in cases where they're like explicitly asking for your address, I don't know why anybody would do that, and you might want to do some deep research to actually check if it's valid or not. But I personally don't see why anybody would ask you for this information, because you don't want random people knowing your address, having access to where you live. It's a different thing if you apply for the role, you get the role, and before your onboarding, when you are signing the offer, they're asking you for information about yourself and all of that. You can now start supplying things like, when you're supplying bank accounts, you can supply address, you can supply this one. Then that's different because you already work there. But God knows that there's a chance that you have applied to 100 jobs and you've sent your resume to 100 places, and your resume has your address, and 100 random places on the internet now, your address is there. Like, it's not safe to begin with. At the end of the day, it's not computers that read your resume, it's human beings. You don't want that. If there's no need for someone to know your address or know where you live, they shouldn't. Also, your birthday. Why is your age important? Why is your birthday important? Is the hiring manager supposed to send you a birthday present? I don't get. Stop putting information that doesn't have anything to do with you as a professional on your resume, because they do more harm than good to you, if at all. Some companies might just be neutral, it might not mean anything. But in other companies, it might be more harmful than beneficial. So don't do these things. You don't need anybody to try, and because there's some biased companies, especially in this part of the world, when they're looking for they'll tell you they're looking for 7 years experience. People expect that you get your first job at the age of like, 24 or something. So if you have 7 years experience, ideally in a country like this, you should be in your 30s, right? And then you put your birthday there, right? Which is already there's a chance that they might not even block your resume before it gets to the point where you can actually even, meet people, do the interview, and then like bust their heads and they're like, oh, more, we have to hire this person. Like you put your birthday there, and from their calculations, they can see that this person is 26 and they're asking for 7 years experience. You're 26. How? How? When maybe you might have just graduated school early. Maybe you went to a school that had a 4-year course, and maybe during the summer you were taking summer classes. So your 4-year course that would have been a 4-year course ended up being a 3-year course because you were faster than your mates and you finished fast, and you graduated at something like 18. Maybe you entered school 15. You entered school 15. You finished 18. Right? And then you found a job at 19 while you were doing your NYSC, but the job was relevant work experience. You've done that job 19 till 26. Now it's 7 years. But because people don't have that much context or understand, or because of that bias that just exists for weird reasons, which we are yet to deal with. But until we deal with, I'm not trying to encourage bad behavior. You understand? But at the same time, until we've dealt with these problems, don't put yourself in a position where you become a victim. Your age, in some cases, to be honest, anything that could make people look at you in a different light, remove it. Are you a model? What's your picture doing in your resume? For goodness sake, what's your picture doing there? For what? Also, like I mentioned earlier, if this is 2021, and you are trying to get hired for a DevOps role, and maybe in 2012 you had done some coding, Android development, you were working with Java at the time, excuse me, why is that experience in your resume? It is outdated and it's no longer relevant to the current role that you're applying for, or the current path or direction your job wants to take. So it's not about packing experience and adding unnecessary things in your resume so that your resume will be full. It's not projects. This is not a fico land. People are busy. They want to look through your resume as fast as they can so that they can get a glimpse of who this person really is, and then move on to interviewing them. So I don't see any reason why irrelevant things are there. The next thing is like, all these unprofessional links that reduce your chances. I get nowadays some people are putting their social media, nowadays some people are putting, like, you put your GitHub as well. Please, if you've not contributed to GitHub in the last year as a software engineer, why are you putting your GitHub link in your resume? It's just going to make people look at you as unserious. If on the other hand, you are someone that is always answering Stack Overflow questions, no problem. Like, if you don't have any project that you've really worked on your GitHub, there's no need showcasing that GitHub in your resume. It actually does more harm than good to you. But if on the other hand, you are someone that engages more with Stack Overflow, you answer a lot of questions there, you get like, if someone looks at your Stack Overflow profile, they're like, wow, then you can put a link to your Stack Overflow over there. If you're someone that on Twitter, you're constantly talking about tech, every single opportunity that you get, then sure, put your Twitter there. Not that on Twitter you're posting JPEGs, my view, her view, my view, his view. That's not going to make somebody want to hire you. Wow, I just rhymed, shit. But yeah, you get the gist. That's not going to make anybody want to hire you. Let's be very honest with ourselves. So there's no need to put that thing there. Let's be very honest. So now I have said everything that I want to say. I've told you things that are important that should be in your resume and things that are not important to be in your resume. I hope this video has helped somebody. If you liked it, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And if you have any opinions, leave it in the comment section. Let's chat, because I'm learning as well. I can learn from you. You can learn from me. We should all learn from each other. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like I said earlier on, like it if you liked, give this video a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you and bye.